Heidi ho, everyone, and welcome aboard. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of Just Beat You, Angel. Thank you. I could see what was going on. What did I say? 23rd of February. Not even a week to go before we move into autumn in my neck of the woods. And in some places, of course, those being the Northern Hemisphere, it will be spring. And I'm sure everybody's waiting for that to happen. Look, it's a bit like the TARDIS today. We've got a whole lot to shove inside a very, very small time capsule. So, cheers, Angel. So, I won't dilly dally. We'll just get straight on with the breakout trade and we will go from there. Great treat today. We've got both Simon and Shukri in. Those of you who haven't caught up with Simon's news, we'll be very, very happy to share that with you upcoming. And of course, the man who makes a lot of things possible, Shukri, will be joining us as well, as always on a Tuesday. Hi, Paul P. How you doing? Righto, today we've got loser for us yesterday. Super unlucky to be pipped in with that bar, retraced and took us out. But the computerized or optimized version would have been a winner had you chosen to play it that way. I think it's giving us a bit of a hiding at the moment, the optimized version. I guess so it should, but we'll see. Today we've got 1, 2, 3 1-hourly bars. That will be the range that we are attempting to break from. And this is the low of those, or the low of that bar is the low of that range. The high of this bar, wherever it may be, will be the high of the range and therefore the entry for the upside. And of course, the low of that bar will be the entry for the downside. Not super keen about entering short here, but there may just be room to get a first take profit. We shall see. So let's put those parameters in. 140.58 will be the entry for the short. 140.58. The stop loss will be above that candle. Hang on. 140.58 is right. The high of that candle is 140.81.5. So 140.82 will be the stop loss. TP1 will be half of that risk, which is 24 pips. So 12 will be TP1. So 12 underneath there is 140.46. And double the risk, which will be 48 pips, will give us a TP2 of 1.4010. I think we can pretty safely place that order. There's a couple of minutes to go, or 1 minute to go. It's a bit difficult to put the entry in because we're right on the top of that bar, but we can put the stop loss in, I think, for the long. So let's do that. That level will be 1.4062. 1.4062 is the stop loss for the buy. And I have no idea what TP1 is going to be at this point. Those of you who want to trade the optimized version of this, you will enter above 3 pips above the high of the range of the last 5 1-hour bars. So that would be this candle. And your stop loss will be 3 pips above the high, not 5, if I said 5. And the stop loss will be 2 pips below the low of that range, which will be 2 pips below that candle. And you will exit at first resistance or support. So if you're going short, you would have to exit at the daily pivot, the whole lot. If you're going long, you would have to exit at DR1. Okay, the high of that bar is 140.857, makes it 140.86. We'll see if we can get into that before it goes through the high, 1.4086. is the entry long. The stop loss we know. TP1 will be, what's that, 24 pips, exactly the same. So 1.4098 will be TP1. And TP2 will be 48 pips above there, which will be 1.4134. I think, is that right? Yeah, 134. There we go. All right, let's see if I can place the order to buy stop. Entry 140.62. That's not right. That's the stop loss, 140.86 is the entry, and the stop loss is 140.62. And nothing on the trade, you know, it's, whoa, something's wrong. Buy stop, 140.86, 140.62. Won't let me in, we're too close to the entry. That would be why. I'll just hang around to see if we get a little bit of a retrace here. Looks like not. They're off again. So I've missed the entry, so I won't place any orders today. On that, it's gone. So the TP1 would have been 140.98. If it reaches there, that would have been your TP1. Maybe you guys were fast enough to get on that. I was not. 140.98 is right there-ish. That's what sometimes happens with this, guys. I can't talk, calculate, and place the order at the same time. Sadly, I'll have to be octopi pine. Looks to be fairly keen to go on with the job, though. Not that far from TP1. Can't see it for that line. 1 pip to go. Frustrating, eh? Spreads might have triggered that TP1 anyway. Hi SF, may I know how you set the show candle bar expire time? Sure. Use C Trade Manager custom setting. Used C Trade Manager custom setting. What's C Trade Manager, Gary? I've got it as a as an indicator. Now, I'm not sure how I can share this with you. It's an indicator called, not P4 candle time. That'll probably do. It's called something else. Maybe on this, I'm on an ATW account, so it must be called that, I'm guessing. Okay, so it's in the Trade Manager. SF, have you got the Trade Manager? If not, let me know. You do. Okay. So that's what Gary's talking about. You can find it in the Trade Manager, probably a different one to the one I've got. I'm not sure. But if you have any troubles, let me know, and I will see if I can get that file sent out to you. Okie doke. So I'm not in the trade today, and it just fell short of TP1 by the look of it. Maybe the spreads gave you TP1, depending on what broker you are. Who knows? Righto, a few things to get through before Ash comes in, and that's not too far away. Firstly, I placed an order on Euro Yen earlier today. on the 4-hour chart, and it was trading the break and retest of not only that trade line, but also the weekly pivot. A little bit of a double cross there of the weekly pivot, or what I call a double cross. Now confused. I cancelled that order, by the way, so it's no longer in the market. It's now a bit of a toss-up because my bias is short based on, and it's only short-term short, really, based on that big engulfing bar there, followed by that lower high, which was pretty much what I was trading. And out of context, tweezer top sitting here. Why out of context? Well, by definition, a top should be a top, and that is not a top. That is a top. Well, potentially a top. It's a top for now. But it does present us with a lower high, and that's why I was okay to take that position. And you can see the lower high there. The issue is now confused because we have not only broken this trade line, we've come back above it. So on a smaller time frame, that's going to look very much like a false break, and so it does. But if you take that trade line away, which I can't, because it's actually something that I use to trade with, you can see pretty clearly that we've got lower low based on this one, and a significant lower high here. This low is the question mark now that I have. So I'm a little bit confused as to what happens next. One thing I would say, if we did get a decisive bearish bar here that came across the pivots, then I'd probably look to trade this long. But it's now very, very confusing. It's confused the issue. So anyway, the point of the exercise is I have cancelled that order. What else did we have? We were looking yesterday for pound Aussie to retrace back to here so we could find a way into this short. That may be happening as we speak, and if it did, happy days. We were also looking for Swissy yen to do exactly the same. It's kind of indecisive here at the moment. I did say this morning that I would like to see this pull back to the daily pivot in the daily chart, and tomorrow morning I'd have a look at this. Probably would look like a short, but on the smaller time frames, I think I still want to see a decent retracement before I attack here. A little bit too much support around for me right now. I'd want to see a pullback of some kind, so that's not there. Euro Swissy is just POQ'd, really, hasn't it? It's Gornsky now taking on yesterday's highs, which are significant. Tweezer top sitting there. Are they significant enough, however, to trade? No, but gee, I'd love to see this come back underneath this trade line, maybe hit the weekly pivot and then retest this area. It doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon, I'd have to say. That's the daily chart. And as soon as this high is taken out, if we get a close above here, I think it's all over Red Rover, and Euro Swissy is off to the races. Dollar Swissy, yeah, look, I don't know why, but timing's well, I do know why. Timing's absolutely everything, and we were looking to trade this long, pretty much against my my hatred of the US dollar, but it's pretty clear to me that we've got an inverted head and shoulders here. We've got a neckline that's been smashed, retested, and the market looks to be going onwards and upwards. But what this bar is all about, I've got no idea why that's come off yesterday in such an emphatic fashion. I really don't know, but it's there, and it's very, very hard to ignore. What I would now be looking for is another break or another false break or something that tells me that the downside is a no-go zone. And the only way I can really see that happening is, as usual, if a support level is broken and becomes a false break. That could happen here if we got down to this level and then back above it, maybe retested the confluence area of weekly pivot and trade line, then I could signal long. But this is now a little bit too tricky for me. That was definitely a bullish signal right there, but interesting what happened yesterday. Don't know why. Actually, I don't know. G'day, buddy. How are you?
Hi, mate. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
What
Yeah,
what caused dollar to come off yesterday, late in the session by the look of it?
oh, I'm trying to
Don't
think
know.
back.
Was there news?
Was there news? I can't. Do you know what? I can't even remember anymore.
Too many questions.
No, not too many questions, but probably too many things going on. There's but the UK is sort of is now announced its route out of lockdown, and
It's what, sorry?
that it's announced its route out of lockdown, moving out.
Route out. What's that mean?
Route out. The route
Oh,
out.
route out. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's what's playing on my
My
mind.
mind
I'm
was
kind
racing, then I got to tell you.
yeah, because I'm looking at UK equities, and I'm looking at the pound. That the pound to me, just as you just illustrated with the pound Aussie, the pound to me is in a technical area that could be a short, but I just looked at some data points just that released in the last hour, and we've got claimant counts down and average earnings up, significantly up. The unemployment rate is a shade higher, but not much, not enough to kind of make a difference. So the numbers continue to actually strengthen the case for the pound, and now we've got this route out of lockdown, and looking at UK equities. I was looking to go short on the FTSE. It's I'm happy to show you the chart if you've got time, or if you're still looking at something that's.
Yeah, look, I was just updating the watch list, and really not a lot happening. The trades that were still in, dollar CAD still going well. That's fine. Aussie is still going well. A new high again yesterday, so we're going well there. Aussie Kiwi looks very keen on challenging this high here. If it gets through there, we're off to the races again, I think, too, as well. But all going well, mate. The only thing that was disastrous for me was that expletive silver thing that we spoke about yesterday. And it's now got me, like before, back in the never ever again trade silver camp. But in reality, it should have been a break-even trade. I just didn't manage it because I wasn't in front of it, and I didn't put it on the EA. But those of you who traded it, if you traded it, and I strongly advise you to go very, very light on it, you should have got a break-even trade out of it.
So, well, I was just going to show you the FTSE, because the FTSE I was looking to trade a couple of days ago at this weekly pivot. Quite like that as a price point, but the issue is this trend line. This trend line now it's basically broken through, and doesn't look so clean on this chart. But on the futures, it's retested this area and gave us a little low test bar there as well. So it looks pretty good for some further upside. And with this, as I say, because we are now kind of like planning the way out of lockdown, it would suggest that UK business will probably do okay here. The pound's strength is problematic because the international companies, won't be so attractive as an exporter. The exporters, and there's obviously sort of like quite big exports that are made up by the UK index, but with oil, going in the direction it's going, you got the likes of BP and Shell, which are really starting to extend its legs now, back to the upside, doing very, very well currently. A BP, obviously I've been kind of talking about BP now for a few weeks, and sorry to keep going on about it, but it's just it's a share that I've been in for a little while now, and it's good to see.
Don't be sorry, mate. If it's making money, keep talking.
Yeah, well, it's more the fact that I don't think the listenership are probably trading shares, so I always feel a bit guilty about sort of talking about specific shares and stuff, but because really we need to focus on this stuff just to kind of.
Well, mate, 2 or 3 years ago we weren't even thinking about trading crypto. Well, I was, but
this is true. This is true.
I
Yeah.
remember making a statement maybe 5 or 6 years ago in one of the TTRs, and they scoffed at me. I said, and I wasn't saying. In fact, it might have been more than 5 or 6 years ago.
Right.
The comment I made was, um, it's getting tougher and tougher to trade currencies because of things like algos and quants and supercomputers, etc., etc. And I said, I wonder what we'll be trading in 5 or 6 years' time. Would it be cryptocurrencies, maybe? And
Yeah.
here we are. And
Yeah.
fortunately, fortunately, we've got somebody who's benefited from that very, very much, and somebody who has put a whole lot of work into it as well. Both in the show today, and we're going to talk to them very shortly. So as soon as you're done, we'll go to them.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Hanan's just saying, keep going on about the stocks. Well, if you're all right with doing that, then I'm happy to do so, because I really like stocks. Stocks is really where my bread and butter is now. I'm much more interested in stock trading than anything else. But I do focus heavily on the UK stocks, which probably does also kind of deplete a few more people. But because, and the reason that I trade UK stocks predominantly, there's two major reasons. The first one is that I find the currency exchange headache just a bit too annoying. It's not overly complicated, but I find it annoying, the fact that if I buy a US stock, then I've still got to take into account the currency exchange before I work out what my profit's going to be. So it's not just a straight, like for like. And the second thing is that I get level 2 data on the UK stocks, and level 2 data I just think is just a magical thing. I absolutely love it. So that's why I tend to focus on UK stocks. But
and then if he's new, he probably doesn't understand what level 2 is. You might just briefly explain.
Oh, okay. So level 2 is effectively it is order flow. So you can see where the big orders are sat in the market. So the London Stock Exchange has a list of orders, very very similar to COT data actually, but it's live. So where you'll have the London Stock Exchange will have its exchange, and when the big companies want to put in an order to buy a stock, then they have to log it. And they log it with the London Stock Exchange, and you can see where that order is and how much they are looking at, what volume they are looking at buying. And it can just give you some really good ideas. There's different ways to use level 2, but I quite like it for looking at ways to find support on price. And I've honestly seen it probably in just about everything that I've traded recently. I've seen it in EasyJet. I've seen a really good support level. I've seen it in Aston Martin. I've seen it in BP. I've seen it in Rolls-Royce. And so far, it's at 100% strike rate. Now that does help that the market is going up, and obviously, there are other sort of factors, but when the order flow kind of agrees with that, then it does make things a lot easier to kind of buy into. So yeah, so I'm really into UK stocks. So I continue to buy UK stocks and trade UK stocks, and it's one of those things, and you've got to be a little bit careful, because the inflation picture and the inflation story is becoming harder and harder to navigate. We got bonds now at 135, I think I saw yesterday, Jeff, maybe 136. Now it's almost a class in itself, but we need to talk about inflation at some point. And I'll just give you a little overview. Whenever you work out how much your asset is worth, make sure you know what the inflation rate currently is, and you can do that by just a very simple print called CPI. Just have a look at CPI. There are other inflation prints, but CPI is a really good one. It's Consumer Price Index. And the reason that you need more than just CPI is it won't log every single item in the CPI data. But the Consumer Price Index will give you. God, the FTSE is looking more attractive actually for a sell here. But the Consumer Price Index will give you a print, and let's say the print is year on year 2%, and the bond is at 1.5%. That means, in fact, let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates currently in the United States are at, am I right in saying 0.5%, Jeff? I can't remember, it's 0.5% or 0.75%.
At the moment,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a quarter, like everywhere else, isn't it?
So if it's a 0.25%,
Well,
then
they express as a range, don't they? 0.25
yes.
to 0.5, I think it is at the moment.
Okay, well, let's say for argument's sake, I can't even remember the number. I should know this, but let's say for argument's sake, the number is 0.5%. Well, the real rate is 0.5% minus the rate of inflation. Now, if inflation's sitting at 2, then the real rate that you're getting is minus 2.5%. So you've always got to kind of consider inflation. And the reason that inflation is really important is when you come to stocks, if you see a stock which is returning on a dividend of 2%, but inflation sitting at 2.5%, actually you're getting the dividend under the rate of inflation. So so in some, and your cash is just becoming even less valuable. So you've got to be sort of mindful of this stuff and how it works, because then you can start working out whether you want to invest in a stock. Are you getting more than the rate of inflation? So this kind of starts drawing you to certain asset classes that you sort of go, okay, well, what's my actual return here? So that's why I think UK stocks are really interesting to me, but it means I can do less maths, if you like, when I talk about inflation. I don't have to worry about the currency ratio and stuff like that. Anyway, the FTSE is weakening here, but my problem is it's through this trend line. So that means that if I'm going to go short on a FTSE now, I'm going to need to see this come probably through this area here. I liked the weekly pivot. I really did, as a potential price point, but I would have much preferred that to get up there really during probably the first day. If this had happened yesterday at some point, it would have felt better, because the trend line would have been a little bit closer to being tested. But now it's through. This is getting a little bit sticky, but I do think that the market is probably going to come down. So I mean, we've seen the Nasdaq just thunder to the downside. And let's talk about things that are thundering to the downside, because as you say, let's bring the guys in, because I want to know at this time what is going to happen now to the big B. What's going to happen to the big B now? At the big B, the big E, and I also want to know what's going to happen to the big C, as it were, Jeff. This is Bitcoin, and I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I kept saying to him, I'm not interested in Bitcoin. It's just too overvalued, in my opinion. And he said, this time is different. Those famous words. This time is different. This thing's not coming back. And I kind of, I've given up. So anyway, this time is not different, because look at it today. It is thundering to the downside. Now, I want to know what's going on with these cryptos. Is Shukri in the room? Shukri, in fact, are we going to get Simon in first?
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll have a chat to Simon first, if you don't mind.
Let's bring Simon in. Let's bring Simon in. Simon is also a crypto expert these days. I think he could probably, he would certainly have a team of people that could give him that status.
He's earned his stripes, there's no question.
Yeah, he has.
I don't know if we have to open. Angel, can you open Simon's microphone? And Simon, hopefully you can talk to us.
Hello, guys.
Hello,
hey, buddy. How are you?
Hey, all good.
Awesome, mate.
It's been a long time since we shared a beer.
Oh, too long, mate.
I was just about to ask you that question, actually. Is it 2 years or 3 years since?
I think it's October last 2019 was the last time we all got together and terrorized the neighborhood.
Yeah, so, well, kind of.
Shukri, how are you?
Good. It's going as planned.
It's the first time we've spoken, myself and Shukri.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, really? Goodness me.
We've spoken on chat every day, but the first time we've actually spoken to him.
Oh, amazing.
Mate, those 2 years or two and a bit years or 2.5 years, as it is, a completely different story for you, because last time you so graciously spoke before the ATW people, you were telling a completely different story, and your life seems to have changed or turned a corner since then.
I told a story of woe.
You did. You did.
but it was an honest story of woe, and it was told so that nobody else had to go through it and get caught up in such a silly mess that I got myself caught up in.
Mate, can you briefly share that? And I mean, you know, in a few words, not.
Yeah, it was a broker I was working with. I won't say who it was, but it was run by a very well-known guy, and he opened his own UK version of a broker. He's an Australian guy. I loaded up my trading account on the back of rules. If I had to make a certain percentage a month. If I did that, I loaded it up 50K. I always had a maximum of 250K. I was never going to get any bigger than that. As it happened, I hit 5 straight profitable months in a row.
Wow.
And I had a really nice trading account. I was looking forward to 2019, and I was looking forward to giving up work, and I was looking forward to just trading that nice pot of money and making 3%, 4%, 5% a month. That would have been absolutely fine for me. And I went on holiday to Christmas holidays in Seattle and landed in Seattle. And the first message on my voicemail was my account manager at my broker saying they'd lost their jobs. Company had gone under. Not to worry. Don't worry about it. Your funds are safe. Everyone's funds are held in client accounts. Okay, no problem. That's cool. I'll wait till I get back and we'll sort it out. Got back. I'd signed some paperwork at some point, giving myself better terms, if you like. I don't know why I did that. I didn't need to do that, but it was helping out my broker guy. There was some small print on page 550 that said by signing these terms, you agreed to let us move your trading funds into our managed business account.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a tough day.
Yeah.
To be fair, since then the FCA came good, and I got some of it back, and I've kind of thanks to Paul and his contacts at Fusion. One of the guys at Fusion, Phil, who runs Fusion, has pointed me in certain directions that have helped me, and I'm hoping I can recoup 2/3 of that loss by
that's good, mate.
by the summer.
That's really good.
I got to say that most people would have turned and run in the opposite direction from anything that had trading involved with it.
I did for 6 months.
But you came back, and
I did, yeah.
Things have changed a little bit.
Things have changed a little bit.
How so?
I met this mad Malaysian fella. and he started teaching me all about crypto. I'm just watching this Bitcoin chart on my left just plummet.
Is everybody out of Bitcoin? You guys out of Bitcoin?
I'm out. I got out at 45.
Nice.
So
are you guys not holding any cryptos at the minute?
Yeah, too many at the minute.
Oh, you still got some?
We still got some stuff to learn, which Shukru's teaching us.
Right.
He sold all of his, and I haven't, and that's why he's the boss and I'm not.
What about Cardano, Shukri? Are you still holding Cardano? Is everybody out of that?
I'm 70% in US dollars, so I can't afford to sleep. So, the recovery is easy because, hey, you know what to do, like Simon, I already gave you what to do. So now we get into off-season trades, to recover what we supposedly lost, which is not a lot, okay? But yeah, if you talk about the big seasonal, after this dip, there's supposed to be going up some more, and then in March it plummets again. It's always like that, because if you really look at the charts now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are being trashed, but the altcoins are not that bad, which tells me that there's still belief, which means that they have to be smashed first, okay? They have to be smashed first before we can go in, and that's why we're holding the trading. Now, isn't that great when I always arrange the training beforehand, like, okay, it's going to go down. I'm going to train it during this month because I'm not going to do anything much.
Well,
so you're back in cash. You're a bit like Warren Buffett at the minute. You've got your holdings of cash and taking it that way.
But Ash, my big moon the next round is actually on Cardano and betting on Cardano, man. I hope. I hope Charles doesn't let me down again. He's let us down too many times. So we're going to give him a second chance.
Oh, really? You're going to buy Cardano?
Yeah, I'm going to buy the entire ecosystem of Cardano.
Okay.
It's the thing that we did for Polkadot last time, because, to me, how do you say, it's crypto is if you do it right, it's easy money. But the easy and fast money in Polkadot, to me, it's over. That's it. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is easy and slower money. You're going to have to be more patient. But I know Simon's not patient. So
He's learning.
we're going to have to go where no man has gone to. That's why Simon's gone on Mars now. You see anything there, do you?
That was my next question to you, Simon. How much of an investment in terms of time and energy, not money, did you put into crypto, or did you just go, Shukri, tell me what I need to do and do it?
A huge investment in time, and obviously he's part of that. My guy on my left, who isn't on my left because he doesn't get up till 10 o'clock because he's up till 3 o'clock every night.
Oh, wow.
He's kind of our fundamentals guy. So with his fundamental knowledge of crypto and my technical knowledge, if you like, when we put them together, they seem to work.
That's amazing, mate. That's so cool, isn't it? That you got a team, and it's the old kind of. I mean, I'm gonna say Richard Branson thing, but I think many of the brilliant people in the world do it, where they pick people that are brilliant at what they're weakest at, and just kind of employ the brilliant people and don't give yourself a headache.
That's where I was weak because I'm not really that interested in the fundamentals of it all. I'm not really in it for that, and I know that sounds callous, but it's the truth.
Same, mate.
He is, and he loves it, and I don't like it. I like the other bit. When you put them together, you can have good results. And
undoubtedly.
We've had 1 day off since October.
Jeez, I mean, what does your wife think about that, mate?
Well, she lives down there, so this where I'm living now. This is Josiah's place, and I live downstairs, so my commute to work is 10 seconds.
Oh, I love that.
That's to get around this lockdown issue we're having.
Yes, yeah.
That's no good for the price of oil, mate.
No, it's not. It works for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should do as well. Shukri, how easy was he to teach?
It's easy to teach, but every season is different. So the next season is going to be very different from the past. Like I said, we can go to Polkadot, but I just want everyone in Polkadot, you got to be patient like Jeff.
Nobody's that patient, man.
Yeah, but you've hit him with a peach. You've got hit him with a peach in Kasama. Look what that's doing. Everything yesterday on my chart was red, apart from Kasama, it was green.
Kasama, yeah. That's why doing fundamentals is good. But I want to ask you something, Simon. Are you like Elon Musk? It's like Tesla's making more money from Bitcoin than from the actual operations.
No, our operations make good money as well.
Good.
which allow us to do this.
Awesome.
Yeah, have you heard the theory of Elon Musk, Shukri, that he is the world's greatest con man? He's never turned a business profitable. Don't get me wrong. I do not concur with that at all. I think he's a brilliant genius mind. But I did hear somebody say, and quite a respected person as well, say that he is the world's greatest con man because he's convinced everybody that he should own the most expensive company on the planet. And yet he's never turned a company profitable, which I thought was quite, I thought it was quite cute. But
yeah, the Easter Bunny pops along in them once or so as well, mate. So.
Yeah.
His balance sheet must look all right now, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, he's
got a question
saying that
for you from Helen. Oh, sorry, mate. You go.
I was going to say, Elon's saying that Bitcoin's overpriced here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which probably doesn't help things out too much.
No, that says it hasn't. I'm looking
Yeah. Yeah.
And guys, there is a question from Helen. If you do have any questions, if you're in the room for Simon or Shukri, please feel free to ask them. They're here to do that. Helen wants to know, how much knowledge did you have before you started with Shukri around cryptos? I'm assuming
none.
Zero.
None.
There you
whatsoever.
go. There you go, Helen.
I knew what Bitcoin was. I had never bought it before. I was a bit like Ash. No, just know. And on that first weekend that we did Shukri's show overnight, it was like, wow, I need to get into this.
Yeah.
So I've kind of immersed myself in it. And my fundamental knowledge of it is definitely improving, but it's nothing on the young lad. And I don't know how much more I want to go with it. I'm not quite sure where we go next with it. But
yeah, that was going to be another question of mine. Okay, you've been successful, and some people, like I said before, would walk away in the reverse situation that you described 2 years ago. Others would now think, okay, we've been successful. Do we hang on here? Do we cash in, take all our money out of the market, walk away, have a holiday, and think about it, or do we keep on pumping?
We keep on pumping. we sensibly keep on pumping. So we take back our original investment, obviously, and make sure it's free, and then we learn how to trim and take profit at the right time. The right time. Well, we've made a mistake. I wake up this morning and I can see straight away we should have taken a little bit more profit last week, knowing what was coming this weekend. So now on Friday we were going to trim 10 to 15% off of $2 million, and now we're trimming 10% off of 1.6, 1.7 because of what's happened in the last 5 days. So those maths are easy, aren't they? You've got to, timing wise, we've got to be a bit sharper and follow the book of Sidious. Because he was right. Shukri was right. He said on the 21st, around about the 21st, on Friday, Saturday, it's going to go down. And it didn't go down Friday, didn't go down Saturday. We're all thinking he doesn't know what he's talking about. And on Sunday, what up?
Yeah.
Question for you, Shukri. How did you know that?
Huh?
Book of Sidious.
A question for you. Is that a calculated... What did you say, Simon?
The Book of Sidious.
The Book of Sidious, yeah.
You're serious?
Quite accurate. You see, because Bitcoin is in the blockchain, everyone has data. So there are machines that have all this data and have done various computations, and you pretty much know where it's going. It's hard to get the exact date, but you kind of know where. But you also have some things that move through fundamentals, which is like Kusama right now. Why is Kusama moving up? Because there are many crowd loans coming up in March. That's all. So everyone wants to get their Kusama now. If you ask me when Polkadot is going up, okay, I don't know when Polkadot is going up, but I know that there are crowd loans for Polkadot in April. So I just told you when I expect Polkadot will go up, right? Because now that easy game, now there's a lot of people that miss that easy game in Polkadot and Kusama to a certain extent. So what they're doing now, okay, I am not going to miss this next round. I am just going to buy Kusama to stake it for 1 year or 2 years and wake up being hopefully richer than they were. And they will be richer than they were, but I don't know whether they reach the moon or Mars like Simon. Or, nobody knows that. Nobody knows that.
But Kusama was a vehicle, wasn't it? Didn't I buy Kusama because it's a vehicle for something else? Yes,
it's a vehicle for something else, because now what you're doing, you are now lending it to another company. Like we talked about Moonbeam, there's another one called Karura. Karura is New Zealand, by the way, Paul's country. That, in fact, that is the hottest project in DeFi in Polkadot is Karura. So
the Kiwi jewel.
Yeah. Well, what is that? It's a bird, right? So you keep it like for 1 year or 2 years. And in the meantime, what you get is you get rewards. If you do it in Karura, you get KAR. If you do it in Moonbeam, you can get a river, right? And later you will have Glimmer. So if you look why this Kusama is hot, look at what's happening to the IDOs in Polkadot, which guys, you guys don't have access anymore. Sorry. Only Simon and the selected few still can mint money there, okay?
I can't get in. I cannot. There's 5 this week. I haven't got in on any of them.
Offer him a bit more, Simon.
So now what people are saying is, hey, I didn't get there. I was late. So what are they doing? They're saying that I'm not going to be late this time. I'm just going to grab this Kusama.
Good call.
Now, even now.
Even now, even
in this
market crash, it like 300 last night. It's insane.
So I've got to unload some more of my kids' inheritance. My God.
You'll make
Okay.
it back, Jeff. You'll make it back. So, so talk to me about Cardano then, Shukri. So, are we thinking the same thing with Cardano? When are we looking to get into this one?
Sometime in March. See, I like Cardano, I think Simon remembered this, right? In October when we first went in, like, what was Polkadot? Just a piece of paper, right? With so many projects there, which we hardly knew. Same thing for Cardano now. That's why I'm excited, because we have very little knowledge about it. And when we have very little knowledge, maybe to other people, like, this is hard, but we want it to be hard, because when it's hard, we can get into the 100x, which will happen. And I think one thing that I totally missed, because it was so early, but I'm not going to miss it this time during this early days of Polkadot, was something called Zora. Okay, Zora, XOR. That was 100x. I'm sure in this Cardano ecosystem, there's some funny thing that's going to happen that's also going to go 100x. And this will be available in March and April. Again, guys, by the time we in June, it's like the next batch come in. Hey guys, you guys just missed 2 big runs. We got to find another territory to go in now.
I see. So what you will be doing is looking for a coin which is used in the Cardano ecosystem to make itself, and just buying a load of them and seeing which one goes.
Correct. Now there are already coins that have announced they would go into Cardano, but I don't like it because they move. You know, when you talk about non-fungible tokens, which is the hottest thing in the world, is called Bondly. Celsius, which is a good lender, and Simon has Nexo, the equivalent, but that's also going to Cardano. Another one is artificial intelligence, a good one, AGI, but those are like established. I don't like that. I want the new ones to go where man has not been to.
Because they're the ones that have got the chance to go I mean, realistically 100x, are we really talking that, or is it more like 10x or something?
Yes, 1 or 2 is going to go 100x. Now this is the thing, you know, see the previous batch, I know people like Simon and Brian, they already have the tools. They can just print money now. You guys can't, okay, sorry to tell you this. They can just print money and they can stack it all around Cardano, and they just wait, because they know one is going to go 50, one is going to go 100, and you don't know what happens to all the rest. You just go to sleep. But you guys now have to say, you guys have to be very selective. I mean, Helen will have to do a lot of sleepless night like Simon now to get that 100x.
I see. And how many coins will there be, Shukri?
I don't know. We will have to put a portfolio of about 10. But Simon, people like Simon and Brian, they can put everything in all 10. But Helen will have to spend sleepless nights picking the one.
I like it, mate. I'm liking this. Okay, so when are we going to do this with Cardano in March, right?
We start on Saturday, and then the paid class is on mid-March. So that's what I like Cardano now. This is why I like Cardano. It's very different from Ethereum. Okay? It's really different, because when you look at Cardano, I think they're doing it right. See, Ethereum has so many problems with it. It's expensive gas. What is the hottest thing now, other than all these cryptos? CDBCs. It's blockchains for countries. Okay, CDBC is like currency for countries. What about blockchain for countries? Cardano is doing it right by targeting the African countries, because if we're going into this blockchain world, you need something for countries. You can't have this high gas fee, right? You're going to lose the general election. Okay, nobody's going to like Boris anymore.
So we've got
paying a bill and pay like 100 gas. Like, what is that?
Shukri, Cardano was third or fourth the last time I checked, and we got Ethereum at $1,500. We got Bitcoin at near $50,000. What price genuinely do you think Cardano could get to?
$5.
$5.
Yeah, $5.
Okay, $5, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you say it's currently at $1, that is quite a lot, isn't it?
That is quite a lot, and I like it because it's really not an Ethereum challenger in my mind, because it's focusing on countries. It's going on a new niche, so it's like it can really explode. It has a lot of features that Ethereum just doesn't have, that Polkadot also doesn't have. You know, we kind of like Polkadot, and whatever it is, the mainnet is coming like March 31st, so there is something there. And Charles is now like fighting Ethereum. Like, he's like the Ethereum fighter. I want to fight Ethereum, man. He's like, he's always bashing Vitalik. So that's good. I mean, it's saying the right things. If it delivers or not, we don't know, but we do have plan B, because truth be told, Polkadot was plan B for Cardano. I wanted to go to Cardano in the beginning, but I say, hey, this is not happening again because he did this before, okay?
Yeah.
He's
I
a
see,
smooth
mate.
talker. Jeff's friend is such a smooth talker.
I want to ask you both a question. I want to ask it to you first, Simon. And because I'm old and I thought the question about a minute ago, I've forgotten what it was. So I'll ask Helen's question instead. Janet Yellen on Monday said Bitcoin is an extremely inefficient way of conducting transactions. I can answer that. And
She did.
so is the current situation. So we can dismiss that one, I think. Well, I can. If anyone wants to comment on that, by all means.
Well, do you know, Matt, I thought that was quite interesting what Janet Yellen said, and you know, there's many reasons that people could probably put on Bitcoin moving, but you know, Elon Musk making his comments was one of the things that was reported quite heavily. But I would have thought, you know, the ex-Fed of the ex-chair of the Federal Reserve saying something like that, I would have thought that would carry some weight as well.
But the thing is, they're also, is Gensler coming in this week? Gary Gensler is supposed to be the head of the Securities Commission. He's going to be, I think he's going to be elected this week. There's a hearing, so I hope to watch it on CNBC. And Gary Gensler taught blockchain in MIT, and his favorite thing is Bitcoin. Yeah. So
where do you think this comes down to, Shukri, Bitcoin?
I think, yeah, I agree with her that it's not efficient, and that's why we need the other chains to come around. Now, what we're looking for is decentralization. And this is what Elon said, right? He said he doesn't mind if everyone sells their Dogecoin. He wants the thing in the hands of more people. And this is why I think Cardano is doing the right thing, because by the end of March, it will probably be one of the truly decentralized chains.
So why only $5?
Huh?
Why only $5? If
it will be controlled by the people. Beyond that, we don't know.
But why would it only get to $5 if it's going to be something offering something different to everybody else? Ethereum's at 1,500. Why would Cardano only get to $5? Do you think?
Because there already a lot of coins there. But yeah,
I see.
We go higher. But yeah,
I see.
Yeah, there are a lot of coins, and what they're trying to do is really, you know, Charles, he's been at this before. And if you see every peak in Cardano, every peak when Charles talks, it goes up and then it goes down for a very, very long time until he talks again.
Gotcha.
I remember the question.
Yeah.
Go on, Jeff.
The question. So to you first, Simon, and Helen, part of what you've just asked, I'm going to include in this question. One is, there are people, and Hanan is right on the money here, because he's a newbie, complete newbie to trading, as I understand it, not just cryptos, full stop. If you were and had no knowledge of cryptocurrencies, and you wanted to go to, it's a leading question, I know, and I know the answer, but I'm trying to put it in a value for comment rather than a paid for comment type of fashion. How would you go about it? How, if you were completely void of knowledge of cryptocurrencies and how to buy them, sell them, trade them, invest in them, what would you do?
Well, it is an easy one. You go out and get an education. That's the easy bit, right? Saying I'm going to go out and get an education. You can't do what we've just done or what anybody does without education. You need a proper education by proper people, by proper traders. There is,
you know, isn't it amazing? Everyone who sells education says that, and I understand that. If you're listening to it, it sounds like a pitch. It's not, is it?
No, it's not. It's just an education. You need to be taught properly. I attended a course 5 years ago with another guy who I didn't know then, but I now know, who I speak to every day. We talk about trade ideas. He hasn't had an education. He gave up. He quit and said, I'm not paying that money. I'm not going to do it. I can do it on my own. He's I had to move out of his house and sell it because he's got no job and got no funds, which is horrible. And I'm the other end of that, and I'm the one that got educated. And that's the only difference between us, because he's just as smart as I am.
Mm.
Nothing's changed throughout the world, no matter what it is. Is that right?
It never does. Paul asked me to come on and tell us how you did it. Tell us how you did it. Well, like everyone else does it, with a boatload of hard work, a lot of commitment, a lot of dedication, and man hours. There's no sprinkly dust that happen makes it work.
Yeah,
Perfect.
such a good point.
Shukri,
The other problem is you've got to find the right education company.
Yeah, that's it. That's do you know what, mate? That is a really tough thing, isn't it? And I have to say, some people get lucky on that, but they probably don't realize they're lucky. But you can see, I haven't been that fortunate. I've been through so many different people and so many different education, and it took me a while. It's good because it makes me now know I know what's good stuff now. Yeah. So when I'm looking to learn something new in the trading idiom, I'm kind of looking around and sort of going through certain people, and I can tell where there's flaws and where there's holes in their knowledge. And it does mean that I'm getting pretty good at picking, the really good cream stuff that I really need to learn. But it is tough.
I'm the same. Picking the good. I've got a little post-it note on here, and it says on it. Some of the nuggets that you guys drop in your shows that people might miss, but things like some of the stuff you guys have taught me. Last year, my trading was transformed just on the back of going in light and scaling in. So my when I got it wrong, my losses were half the size, and when I got it right, my winners were 3 times the size.
Wow!
So just learning that one thing on that one afternoon when you did that 1 hour, it changed everything for me in that year. I'm looking down this list. Moving stops out of the way. Use lower time frame charts to exit trades. Jeff, key reversal bars, insurance bars, tweezer tops, Batman masks, all of that. Man, I can't tell you how useful that's all been to me.
Wow, that's so cool, man.
I've always said that, it's not the formal training. It's not the formal training that comes from traders. It's those little nuggets that you just mentioned, Simon, that we don't even know we're saying them at the time.
You probably don't even know. You guys don't even know what you're just talking like you talk, and you don't even know you're dropping nuggets. It's great.
Yeah,
exactly. Because it's a result of the experience that we've had and the disappointments that we've had. And, it's knowledge through disasters at times that really, really do put you on the right track. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Shukri, you would probably have the same response, I suppose. You were selling education. Where do you start with you?
For newbie, I would say this: just go in and buy something. Buy very small. I just buy very small so that you understand the nature of the market. Now, but I kind of don't do that. I mean, people ask me for trade ideas. I really say I don't, because I'm the millionaire maker, right? So I focus on making millionaires. So that's for the long term. And one way we do this, because when you want to be a millionaire,
can I just stop you there? Yeah. Is that right? Is that your focus?
Yeah.
Is that really your focus?
Yeah. And it's really two different. It's polar opposites, because you have to have your mind really focused. You can't get freaked out, especially in the beginning, or you won't get liftoff. So again, if you are just a Cardano thing or Cardano trader, you're going to be a trader, try it first. Go very small position, see how it moves. Because if Cardano moves, it will move. But if you are not in that, you want to go for the long haul. It's like Kusama, right? We buy Kusama. We're willing to wait for the other tokens to get to go up, and that will make our Kusama price like pointless. It doesn't matter, because now if you buy one Kusama and you get like River, which goes 20 times that price of that Kusama, do you really care about the Kusama? No, but it's a 2-step process. So you can have trading, which is 1 step, or you can have 2 steps. Remember, you buy Kusama and then you're waiting for the other one to go up, and that's what a lot of people don't see that. That's why I always say that crypto is always multi-dimensional.
Yeah, look, Helen, I think that's an unfair question about Simon. And I don't know if I'm willing to ask it. So we'll skip that one.
Oh, go on.
Well, you talk
Yeah.
about the crypto overtaking gold.
I don't think it does. I think it doesn't matter whether it does.
Oh,
Because
okay.
people think is going to happen, then cryptos go crazy, and that's all the move we need to make sure.
Simon, can you do the questions?
Oh, yeah.
I can, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I'll leave it up to you whether you want to ask or answer it or not.
I don't think you need to answer that. Do you know what? And you know the only reason is it's to do with money, and you should never talk about money because it doesn't matter. It would talk about percentages. That's what matters. Because if
Absolutely.
you can make 100% a year and you start with £100, you will be wealthy enough in a slightly longer time period. It's no big deal, but talk and think in percentage terms. Traders should never think in financial terms. And the other thing with that is it gives you a bit of envy at times. You know, I got a friend. I was trading EasyJet recently, and he was buying it. I was giving him some advice on it, and he bought it as well. And he asked me, "How much have you put in?" And I knew what that meant. And I thought, I was just trying to help you out, and now you're trying to compete. What are you competing for? It's like, so you never ever talk about. And I'm not stopping you talking about it, Si, but I just don't think it's important, and I think it's just I think it's so misleading, to kind of like be thinking in those sorts of terms. If you wanted to, you've got to look at yourself, and you've got to be thinking of from your own perspective. How much can I make in percentage terms? And if you can make double, and you can get your hands on $1 million and you make $2 million and that's you done, then great. But if you don't need to make that much money, if you can make 4% on less stress, then it also kind of like dictates how much you feel like you need to get your hands on. So I never think it's a good idea to talk about money because people are in completely different places. We can all talk about percentages. We can all talk about making a certain percent a month, and we're on an equal playing field there.
I agree.
Yeah. Maybe he was unaware what to start with. Yeah, he probably was. I mean, everybody is, aren't they? Everybody's unaware what to start with because we all think that if we go in really heavy at the start before we've learned anything that we're going to make a load of money, but you soon learn that that's not the way.
Well, yeah, what it was for me right at the start was Shukri telling us about all of the, and I don't want to miss any of them. So for us, it was like going into a casino, finding a roulette table and putting a chip on each one.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
And now I kind of wish we hadn't done that, but that's the newbie thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last question for both of you from me is all to do with missing the boat. And I'm not talking about FOMO. I'm talking about there will be a time where this will either be the go-to currency, if you like, or the go-to exchange, or it won't. Are we too early or are we too late?
I'm leaving that with you, Shukri.
Okay, depending on how you see it, it does not matter. It really doesn't matter because in 2017, and this is February 2021, which is equivalent to February 2017. I entered in July 2017. Now, when I entered, Ethereum had gone up from like $4 to like 400, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think NEO went up like 179 times, and I still was able to take 100,000 US to 1 million US within 9 months.
Wow.
So pretty bad start then.
It doesn't matter. It's how you do it. It's can you see that multiple stage and managing, you know when to take the profits, when to take it off, when to put it back in. There's a skill there, but it doesn't matter. However, if you are going in just on Ethereum, and again, Hanan, listen to this. If you bought Ethereum at 400 in July, it went to 1,400. That's only a 3 times gain, right? 3.2 times if you had gotten out at 1,004. in 2018. However, most of the people didn't get up because they hear some Shukri dude getting like some 20, 30x and wait, and then it comes back down to 400.
Wow.
This is what happens. So you need to know how to do it. And, you know, sometimes you just need to just flip it into US dollars and see what's happening.
Okay, so look, I really appreciate you guys coming on. As always, Shukri for you, and Simon, marvelous. Thank you. Really appreciate. Can't tell you how much we do. I'm going to say that Ash has got to go very shortly, but I'm of the opinion that we can promote the heck out of you, Shukri, and it won't kind of make any difference to some people, but to those who really want to get into crypto, I've got to say, just get into Shukri's show somewhere, because he knows more than I will ever learn, no question.
Yeah, I'd completely concur. I think, you know, I don't know. I don't know how you kind of how lucky, everybody, as you say, you never know how lucky you are until it's passed. But if you can take anything that Jeff and I say with any kind of weight, you are sitting on an absolute gold mine, and it's not necessarily just about money. It's about a gold mine of information, a gold mine of education, and a gold mine of generosity. With Shukri, I mean, it's just you can't wax lyrical enough, I don't think, about a guy like this. So yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. It won't make any difference probably, but if anybody really wants to kind of get themselves off and running with the crypto world, sign up. It's just not. It's unquestionable. Really is unquestionable. And Simon's here to kind of like, you know, he's the personification of it, but hopefully you can see it anyway. Do you know what impressed me, Shukri, is it's not only the knowledge, it's just the absolute, you're like the sun, because the energy just never ever goes away. It just burns and burns and burns. Can anything put the sun out? I suppose that would be the only thing, Shukri, is that you might get some students that end up being a little bit like Icarus. And maybe they try and get too close. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah.
So, guys, it's never too late. It's just that sometimes we have to figure out where we are and realize, okay, we can't do that same thing. Now, the thing that you have to worry about, and you can ask the seniors, right? If I teach the same thing as last season, maybe I've run out of ideas. Then be careful. That's bad. That's very bad. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll dump you instantly. So
yeah, he won't care. Anyway, we better. Oh, I better run. Yeah, Simon, when lockdown's done, mate, come to Brighton. We'll have a beer. There's a cracking new bar on the beach, man, and yeah, I'd love to show you. It's amazing. And obviously, you know, the Shukri and Jeff, you're welcome to pop along. Maybe we'll put you on Zoom
cheers,
or something.
Mate. Yeah. Right. We'll go on. We'll fly over on Kusama, no problem.
Yeah, Kusama Air. So
Hanan,
I don't know if
where do you sign up, Shukri? How does Hanan get into your stuff? Attend tomorrow night, right?
We just have the link recently. I don't know. They're coming out with the new. I think you guys will get a mail. Don't worry. Yeah.
But if he comes into your YouTube show tomorrow, yes.
Yeah, you can come to my. Okay, I'll get some of the links tomorrow. Okay, I'll ask my to get the links tomorrow. Yeah.
That's at 8 p.m., right?
Yep.
Singapore, Hong Kong time, and Malaysia, of course. Yep. Can we ever forget Malaysia? My God.
Don't forget Malaysia, man.
Who would?
We're focused on Singapore, guys.
Guys, we're out of here. Thank you so much, Simon. Really appreciate it, buddy. Shukri, as always. We'll catch you next Tuesday. Of course, those of you who want to be in part of Shukri's world. My God, did I ever say that? Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Singapore and Hong Kong. Ash, I'll catch you tomorrow at the very same time where we'll talk gold with Ainsley.
Oh, yes, everyone. Mate. Yeah, gold. Got some stuff to say about that. All right, fantastic. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for dropping in, Si. Thanks for dropping in, Shukri. See you tomorrow. See you, Jeff.
Bye-bye for now.